Here's the thing nobody tells you before you say I do. Marriage isn't hard because of the big fights. It's hard because you're supposed to become a better person while also staying exactly who your partner fell in love with, and somehow that math never quite adds up. Imagine you're standing at your wedding, promising forever to someone whose morning breath you've never smelled. You're thinking about romance and partnership, maybe kids and mortgages, but nobody's whispering in your ear about the 1,000 invisible tasks that'll become your Tuesday at 7 p.m. for the next 40 years. So how do you actually grow as a person when someone else signed up for the current version? Do you just freeze yourself in amber, or do you risk becoming unrecognizable to the person sleeping next to you? Spoiler alert, neither option works particularly well. Here's what's really happening in most marriages. One person remembers to order toilet paper, schedule the dentist appointments, remember everyone's birthdays, and notice when the baseboards need cleaning. The other person genuinely has no idea these tasks exist until they're not done. We call this invisible labor, which is a generous term for noticing literally everything that keeps a household from descending into chaos. And before you think this is about one gender versus another, let me stop you right there. This is about whoever's brain got wired to track all the things versus whoever's brain decided that problems don't exist until they're on fire. Congratulations. You've won the mental load lottery, and the prize is exhaustion. Now layer on top of that the emotional baggage each of you brought from your childhood. You know, the harmless stuff, like how your dad showed love by never talking about feelings, or how your mom made disappointment an Olympic sport. Totally won't affect how you communicate during a disagreement about loading the dishwasher, right? Cue the inspirational Instagram post about choosing your person every day, and love is a verb. But what's really happening is you're trying to decode whether your partner's silence means they're mad, tired, stressed, or just thinking about whether penguins have knees. And you're supposed to get this right, while also remembering to defrost something for dinner. The intimacy part gets really fun when you're too exhausted from being functional adults to actually connect. You've spent all day being productive, responsible members of society, and now you're supposed to suddenly transform into passionate lovers who definitely aren't thinking about that work email or whether you locked the back door. Romance isn't dead, it's just really tired and has to wake up early tomorrow. Before you know it, you're having the same 7 conversations on a loop. Who's doing school pickup? What's for dinner? Did you pay that bill? Why is the house a mess? When did we last have sex? Are we saving enough money? And what do you want to watch tonight? The thrilling life you imagined has been replaced by logistics management with occasional hand-holding. Some therapists will tell you this is normal and healthy communication. Others will suggest you need more date nights, as if scheduling romance will solve the fact that you become roommates who occasionally remember they chose this. Who's right? Probably both, which is deeply unhelpful. As the years roll on, the challenge just evolves. You're not fighting the same battles. You're fighting new, upgraded versions. Now it's about whether you're growing together or growing apart, whether you're modeling a good relationship for your kids, whether you even remember what you used to talk about before you had all these responsibilities. Innovation in marital discord always finds new territory. Despite all the books and podcasts and couples retreats promising breakthrough connection, most marriages keep trudging through the same strange patterns. You still can't read each other's minds, you still divide labor unfairly, you still carry old wounds into new arguments, and you still have to choose intimacy even when you'd rather just sleep. The same odd dynamics persist behind every anniversary post. Here's the kicker. Everyone's doing this dance, pretending they've got it figured out, while secretly wondering if they're the only ones who find it this complicated. Your friends post vacation photos and sweet messages, but they're not posting about the fight they had in the hotel room or the resentment that's been building since March. Social media is basically a highlight reel of lies we all agree to believe. The individual growth thing never really gets resolved, by the way. You're just constantly negotiating between who you're becoming and who your partner needs you to be. Sometimes those circles overlap beautifully, and sometimes you're growing in completely different directions while trying to hold the same hand. It's like trying to dance together when you're both listening to different songs. And the emotional baggage doesn't disappear just because you love someone. It just gets unpacked in your shared closet, mixing with their emotional baggage until you can't remember whose childhood trauma is causing tonight's meltdown. Therapy helps, sure, but it's not like you graduate from having a past that shapes your present. You just get better at recognizing when your reactions are about now versus then. The invisible labor typically stays invisible too. Even when you have the conversation about division of tasks, somehow one person's brain is still the central processing unit for the household. They might delegate tasks, but they're still managing the delegation, which is itself a task that never appears on any chore chart. It's exhausting being the operating system. Maintaining intimacy while you're both exhausted and annoyed and haven't had a conversation about something other than logistics in 3 weeks, that takes actual work. Not the cute Instagram kind of work where you laugh over cooking dinner together. The hard kind, where you have to be vulnerable when you'd rather build walls, where you have to choose connection when disconnection feels safer. Nobody warns you that marriage is essentially signing up to witness someone else's complete humanity, including all the parts they wish they could hide. You see them sick, scared, petty, selfish, irrational, and unreasonable. And they see all of that in you too. Intimacy isn't just physical. It's the terrifying closeness of being fully known. The everyday life part doesn't pause for relationship maintenance either. You can't just press stop on work stress, family obligations, health issues, financial pressure, and existential dread so you can focus on loving each other well. You have to do both simultaneously, which is roughly as relaxing as juggling chainsaws while someone asks you about your feelings. People talk about marriage like it's a destination you reach after the wedding. But it's actually a daily choice to stay in the same boat even when the other person is rowing in a different direction, or not rowing at all, or drilling holes in the hull because they're stressed about work and this is how they process feelings. You just keep choosing the boat. The romantic narrative we're sold about marriage versus the actual experience is almost comedic. The movies end at the wedding, which is adorable because that's literally where the interesting part starts. The part where you realize love isn't a feeling that sustains itself, it's a decision you make repeatedly while someone leaves their socks on the floor and forgets to tell you they'll be late. What keeps it going isn't some magical compatibility or perfect partnership balance. It's usually just stubbornness, commitment, occasional glimpses of why you chose this person, and the fact that starting over sounds even more exhausting than staying. Not exactly the stuff of fairy tales, but it's honest. You develop this weird intimacy that's built on shared history, inside jokes, and knowing exactly which tone of voice means what. It's not always romantic, but it's real. You become these strange witnesses to each other's entire lives, and there's something both beautiful and terrifying about being that seen. The growth happens anyway. Whether you navigate it well or not, you're both changing all the time, imperceptibly, and hoping you're changing in compatible directions. Sometimes you are, sometimes you're not, and sometimes you're just too busy to notice until you look up and realize you're both different people than you were 5 years ago. And somewhere in all of this mess of invisible tasks, emotional archaeology, exhausted intimacy, and everyday survival, you occasionally have these moments. Moments where it clicks, where you remember why this person, why this hard, weird thing you're doing together. Those moments don't fix the hard parts, but they make them worth navigating. That's marriage. Beautifully mundane, frustratingly complex, rarely what anyone expects. The real story isn't in the wedding album, it's in all the unremarkable moments between. And somehow, for reasons that defy logic, millions of people wake up every day and choose it anyway. The truth is, nobody's really prepared for how hard it is to build a life with another person while simultaneously building yourself. But everyone's out here doing it, stumbling through, hoping they're getting more right than wrong. That's the game behind the anniversary posts and the couples photos. But just wait until you hear what happens when you add kids to this equation, or retirement, or any of the other curveballs life throws. The plot always thickens.